First, we will go through a travel course made with Koantic, and then we will go into a more advanced branching section scenario with a special little feature that we have after. We will go with the release notes that we have for the version 2.0, and at the end we have a Q&A session where we will unmute the mics and we can chat and you can ask all of your questions at the end. So this is the plan for this webinar. So I will start right away. As you can see, we have a course now which is displayed. Now this is all made with the Koantic platform from beginning to end. And so we will start the adventure. All right, so let's do it. So welcome to Trip Epic, your travel agency. Need help choosing your next destination? Okay, so they offer 3 epic travel ventures. As you can see here, we have 3 choices, and right away, a really nice feature that we have with Koantic is the ability to implement gamification really rapidly. So here we can choose additional information about each of these locations simply by clicking on the image, and we see a tooltip appearing with some video footage of each city. So we can see, of each location. So we can see this one is a fast travel in Chicago. And finally, we have an adventure in the jungle. Now you might notice the YouTube splash screen. This is because these courses, these videos are hosted on YouTube, but you can also host the videos yourself if you prefer to, whatever way works best with you. All right, now in order to navigate to the next page, we'll simply click on the next button to continue our adventure. You can see in the table of content to the left that we're moving in the table of content. Now next is a destination for a sneak peek. So we have a world map here and we can choose a destination that we want to go. So let's click here on New York. And we move to a branching page where we display, in this case, a video of New York. Now, the interesting part on this is that if we click on the skip button, we have here a question which is asked to us. Would you like to choose another travel venture? Now, this is very quickly made up. You just put a couple of buttons and you can ask plenty of questions to your learner in a matter of minutes. So let's see here, we have yes or no, continue this course. I'm going to choose to continue my course. So next we have a checklist. Prepare yourself with this comprehensive travel checklist. So let's click and see what's that going to show us. Clicking on it, you can see that a PDF is appearing with more technical information about security and transportation. So very easily, you can also link PDF documents to your courses. Moving on. Now it's time to test your travel knowledge. So let's start a quiz. All right, so here we have a drag and drop question. It says, place a location on its traditional food. So the bagel will probably go with New York. This looks exotic, so I'll go with Thailand, and I'll move that one to Panama. Clicking on my button, here, submit your answer. We will see if I have this right. And it says your answers are correct. So this was a drag and drop question. Very easy to set up. You can create this in a matter of minutes. Going to the next page, we have another type of question, which is a fill in the blanks. Again, very easy and quick to set up. Let's see if we have this one right. It is generally prohibited to bring more than 100 milliliters of, let's go with water, in a carry-on luggage. Let's see if I have this right. And again, your answers is correct. So let's go to the next page. Okay, now this is now a graded quiz. So what do we mean by that? So we see that it's graded. We have a passing grade of 60%, and there is 4 questions that will be asked to us. So let's start the quiz. First, for 25 points. Question 1, how many countries are there in the world? So let's try 202. Submit your answer, and I failed this question. You can click on the button right here to show the correct response, which would be 196. Okay, so let's click to go to the next question. In 2013, American Airlines and US Airlines merged to become the world's largest airline. Is that true or false? I believe this is false. Let's see. And again, I failed this question. So next question. What is the currency of? Okay, so Mexico. This is now a drag and drop question again, where you have to drag the answers to the correct answers. And so we'll try a rupee here, and the kwacha, let's say at the bottom. Let's see if that's right. And again, I failed this question. Having a little hard time here. By clicking show responses, you can again see the right associations highlighted in green. So let's go to the final question, which is arrange the following states in order from west to east. So this is a sequencing question, so I take my elements right here and I will reorder them in order to have the correct answer. So let's see if I have this right, and I do have it right for this. Unfortunately, it says here, sorry, you have failed this course. You can see at the bottom my current score is 25 on 100, and I needed, we saw it earlier, 60, at least 60 in order to pass this course. So unfortunately, I failed that one. Now all this data is tracked with SCORM 2004 or SCORM 1.2 and also XAPI should you need to. So moving on, we have here a video page with some interactions and some information about Montreal. So you can see that you can pause the video at any time. So now the video is pausing and we have an interaction here which says click to see a poutine. So if you click on that square, you can see a pop-up image appearing with additional information displayed at the bottom. So these hotspots are very useful if you want to add additional stuff as layers over your videos. Let's continue. So you have here another interaction. Click here to discover Montreal. Oh, I missed it. Click here to discover Montreal's underground city. If I click on it, you can see that an external web page has been opened with some additional information about the underground Montreal city, displaying the map and whatnot. So I'll go back in my course. So you have a couple of other interactions as well. So for example, I'll replay that one here. For example, you can also add videos over videos. So this is very interesting. For example, if you want to add additional information about a specific topic, but your learners will have different degrees of skills and knowledge that they already have. So you can give them the choice here. If they already know that information, they can decide to skip it if they want, or if it's something new for them, they can decide to stay and watch and browse all of that information. So it's always up to the learner. So we're going to skip it for now. So there's a couple of more interactions, all this. And so once it's done, we are going to move to the last part of the course, which is the Game of Thrones travel package. Now, this is a branching scenario which is more advanced, which will show you more advanced feature and using the Game of Thrones lore. So you might learn a thing or two. Let's get going. So let's start this. Starting, we can see now that we have a world map of the world of Game of Thrones with 3 locations that we can each visit. So let's say we want to visit the Dothraki Sea. Well, you can click on it and the branching will move you to that page. Now, this is in Malta, Europe, and you can have some information. For example, the Dothraki wedding between Daenerys and Khal Drogo took place in Malta. It's a small archipelago with less than 500,000 citizens. So let's click to go back. Anytime you want, you can go back to the world map. And we could go see Winterfell if we want. But for now, let's go and visit King's Landing. So clicking on King's Landing, now I'm moving to the King's Landing page. You can see that this was shot in Dubrovnik. There's some info. The Red Keep and the Sept of Valor were completely computer generated. That's interesting. Now we can choose in Dubrovnik, we can choose where we want to go. So this is another example where you can see where the branching can really get into a lot of different levels here. So I'm going to choose to go to the Walk of Atonement. So simply click on it and an animated slide appears. Now this infamous scene took place in the steppes. Cersei used a body double for that scene. Aside from her head, the body belongs to another actress. This is what the real location looks like without any special effects and a few curious tourists. Now we have another type of question which is appearing, which is a hotspot question. And it says which of these elements were computer generated. Now if we remember back in the first video of Dubrovnik, there was some information saying that the Red Keep and the Red Keep, this one, and the Sept of Valor were computer generated. So let's see if we got this right. So you can see here that you can choose your answer, untick those one that you want to. So I'll choose the two images on the left, submit your answer, and correct. They were shot in many locations in the city since they can be put anywhere. Let's continue the video. And so it just says after that, where do you want to go next? Do you want to stay in King's Landing? Choosing this options will bring you back to the Dubrovnik page, or I want to visit other places, which will bring you back to the world map. So you can see here the branching is very apparent here, and you can see how you can create any type of scenarios that you want. Here you branch either to the King's Landing page or either at the complete beginning, so you pretty much can send your learners anywhere you want by setting this up yourself manually. Well, I want to visit other places. Clicking here will bring you back to the world of Game of Thrones. So as you can see, this is very interesting with your branching and your buttons. You can really set them up to go anywhere else that you want in your scenario very easily. So for example, going to the back to the main map here, I could very easily click on Winterfell and see some information about Winterfell as well. And so this is it for this is it for the branching of Game of Thrones. All right. So these were our two scenarios that you can have a look at. Those will be available also later on, actually, for you to have a look at what a final project look like. These will also be available in the platform so that you can, especially the Trip Epic, you can easily go back to that course and have this as a template in order to start building up your learning content. All you would have to do would just be to change the text, change the images, but the structure, you would have access to that very easily. All right, so we'll move to the next part of our webinar, and this one we will go under the hood and see how all of this is done. So for this, I'll go on my other tab. Okay, so this is now what you see first, that this is browser based. So I'll click on F11 to put it full screen, but this is all through the browser. So this is the platform, the Koantic platform. And now if I click on here, you can see that I can add pages in my course, have my table of content right here, where I can go on my pages and start modifying my course. Now, this scenario with the travel is pretty much done. So we'll actually jump in the Game of Thrones branching, and I'll give you a look at what the branching looks like. So this is what our new branching feature will look like inside the platform. So you can easily zoom out or zoom in, depending on how big your branching is. And you can see here that what I've created actually very quickly was I created pages in my branching view, and all of the arrows are the paths that I can do in my branching. So you can see that my world map where I start, I can go to King's Landing, Winterfell, and Dothraki. And then from King's Landing, for example, you can see that an arrow moves to Red Keep, Walk of Shame, and the Sept of Baelor. but also you have arrows that brings back to the beginning, the world map, so that you can quickly go to the world map from any location that you want. Now, should you want to add a fourth location, for example, I'll show you how easy it is. You just click on the add element here, and you decide what type of page you want to add. You have a choice between a video page and an animated slide. We've seen both. Let's say that I want to add a video page. I simply click on it here, and you have your element that has been added. Now, if I click on the element, I can rename it. So let's say this one would be, location number 4. Don't really know which one that is. I can then choose from my world map, just simply drag an arrow, and you will be able to link to that location, and that location could be linked to other locations as well. Now, in order to add a video, it's very easy. You double click on that element, and it will open the page in question. Now, here would be where I would add my video. And to add your video, again, you can add any type of video that you want. So I could do a screen recording if I would want. You can upload videos from your computer or your library, or you could really quickly enter a YouTube link as well. So let's say I'm just going to go grab a random video. I'll grab that one. I believe this one is a forest. You see here a forest shot. Now, if I go back in branching by clicking on this button right here, so going to that location, I'll just go back in the world map. And for example, where we have our 4 destinations, I'll show you how quickly you can link to another destination. So let's just go ahead here and we'll just insert a text box for now. We'll change its appearance to mimic the other ones. So again, really quickly, I'm using my presets. So I'm doing this very fast, but just to show how quick it can be. And we'll name this one, for example, the Erie, the Vale, actually. All right, so you just name it the Vale. I will move it around. I believe this one should be around here. And now this is a button in essence. So if I click on action right here, and I decide in the event type, I can say, and this is the new feature here that you see, go to a branched page. If I click on that one, a new drop-down will appear, available branch page. And if you remember in the branch view, I did a link with an arrow. Well, this arrow now, it will display location number 4. It's appearing here because I did the branching myself. I took the arrow from the world map all the way to the location number 4. I should rename that for Vale, actually. So I just click on that one, click on save, and now we will see that. I'll let the animated slide play. You see already a 4th location, and if we click on it, it brings you to the Vale. So you see how easy it is. This is how you do your branching in a matter of minutes. Okay, now if we go back to our branching scenario, if we go in let's say this one, we'll go in the red keep, and we'll continue to do some branching scenarios over here. So this one earlier that we saw says silence, the trial is currently underway. Well, we want to start that branching scenario right here. So what we'll do is we will go here and we'll delete that element. We don't need this anymore. And instead, we will add, for example, here, by adding elements, we'll insert an image. Simply by clicking on the interaction, you see it appearing here. Now, what is this scene about? The scene is about a certain trial of a certain someone. So if I click on my image interaction, you can see here that I can upload an image. So I'm clicking on this. My library is opening, but I'm going to go grab an image from my computer myself. So the wizard is appearing, and I'm going to go grab an image of Tyrion Lannister. So I'm uploading this in the Koantic platform. It should appear in the library right here. And we see the image of Tyrion. So we'll enlarge this a little bit. All right. So this is our image, and we'll leave this continue playing for a couple of seconds. Okay. We'll add a little text real quick. Change the appearance. Go grab an appearance like this. This is the trial of, I believe it's written like that, Tyrion Lannister. All right. And again, in the action, I'm going to go continue playing, and I'm going to leave the interaction playing all the way up until the end. So we have this here. Let's actually just put one just at 3 seconds exactly, so that I'll show you also how quickly we can add a fill in the blanks question at the end, which is one of the new features of the 2.0 release. All right, so I have this here, and if I go all the way up to the end, I will add my fill in the blank question right here. So I'm clicking on plus again, and this is new in Koantic 2.0. Fill in the blanks, clicking on here, like the other question, it will open the question box. So I'm going to change the appearance again. Let's go like this. And let's say our question is going to be, what is the name of the actor that plays Tyrion? So this is our question. We'll move it here. We could enter some custom feedback here, but just to be really quick, I'll leave it generic. My button, I could customize it as any way I want. I'll customize it with one of my presets like this here. And now we're going to add the actual question. So for this, like in every question, what you do is you click on the add button right here, and it will let you add elements. So we'll add a text box. We could add a text box if we want to add a complete sentence and you just add a word at the end, but we don't need that because we just need the name of the actor. So what I'll do is I'll just create an input box. And clicking on this, I have my box right here. And this is where the learner would put his answer. And in the pop-up window on the left, you can see the accepted responses. So if I click on this here, I can enter my answers. And so the answer, I believe, would be Peter Dinklage. I click on this to select, and you can see the answer appearing. I'll resize this a little bit. Okay. And I click on save. This is it. This is my fill in the blank question. Now we just created our own, very own branching scenario for the Game of Thrones travel package. Let's see what it looks like in our final product. Okay. So we will move to the preview publish to see the final product. And if I click on preview in new window, it's opening a new window, and this is what it would look like at the end. So let's go at the Game of Thrones. All right, so welcome to Game of Thrones. We will now go in King's Landing again, I believe it was. And so choose a location. So this time it's in the Red Keep. And now we can see our new content that we've created. And the question here, what is the name of the actor that plays Tyrion? Let's see, is it Peter Dinklage? Submit your answer. And, oh, I did a little mistake here. I should have formatted here, but you can see, well, it's a little, did a little mistake. You can see it says you passed this question. I went a little too fast. I should have put it in black as well and put it in the middle so it's more beautiful. But still, you can see that the fill in the blank question is working, and we built it up in a matter of minutes. So this is it for a little bit of under the hood in the Koantic platform with everything that has to do with branching and also a fill-in-the-blank questions. Okay, so I will go back in the course. All right, so it's now 1:30. We saw we saw the course, we saw the platform with the new some of the new features. If you want, I'll go check if there is any questions, and then we can move to the release notes. So let me see. Okay, so are colors for text and text boxes presets, or can you customize using RGB colors? What are exports question? Okay, so Romain answered for the export here. And I'll talk a little bit about what he's saying here. Full customization of colors using RGB and also transparency. So basically what he's saying is that you have any choice that you want in terms of color, in terms of transparency. You can set all of this up any way you want. For example, if I click on, I'll go back in the platform, and if I click on here, if I click on this element right here, you have a couple of text settings to format the text. But if you go in the appearance tab here, like we were mentioning before, these are all presets, but these are presets that the content creator made. So these are all presets that we did ourselves. And I'll show you, for example, real quick. If I click on customize here, I can customize my preset myself really quickly. So for example, I could decide to add a border. And add a border, you can really already see that the border is being added. I can change the color, and here a color picker appears. And again, this is where we're talking about the color. You can choose any type of color that you want. Let's say I put, I'm gonna try a kind of like yellowish. And if you want to put the transparency would be here. And like, for example, here it's completely transparent or not. So you can play with the transparency as well. Maybe it's a bit more apparent if we go change the color itself. The background color of the element, if I choose transparency here, you can see it's almost transparent. So let's say that I choose that, and I go at the bottom, save as new template. If I click on this, you can see that my template that I've just created is right here. And now with a click of a button, I can go back to my earlier one, which was this, or I believe that one, yes. Or I can choose the new one like this. And this will be available in further courses as well, if should you want to. I'll go back and go hop on the chat. All right. So someone asked, can you prevent people to go to the next slide without having watched a video till the end or perform some mandatory activities? And Romain answered, yes, you can build your own custom navigation or choose the built-in navigation. A little bit more on that. So we see the built-in navigation right here, for example, that we decided to toggle. But if you go into settings, you can very easily in Logic toggle the, I'm sorry, it's not Logic, it's Appearance. Built-in navigation. If I uncheck that, you can see that my built-in navigation in a click disappeared. And what that does is that you're now, if you want, you're now forcing the learner either to watch the thing in its entirety, or what most people will want to do, which is very interesting, is set up your buttons yourself. So what we would do in that instance is that, for example, if I go in here, no, which one? It was go back. For example, that one, we don't have any of the built-in navigations now, so we cannot move anywhere we want, but you are forcing the learner to go through one of your funnels. So you're setting up your custom navigation yourself, your buttons, and they will go anywhere you give them the choices to go. For now, I'll toggle back the built-in navigations. Click on save. Okay, and you see very easily the built-in navigation reappear. And those buttons are built-in, but you can also, in the theme, you can also customize their appearances as well to have the color of your company or anything, a special border, all of that can be done as well. So this is for the custom navigation. And I believe, I'll go see, I believe that was the last question. Yes, okay. All right, so we'll move to the next part of the webinar, and this time we'll take a look at the 2.0 release notes. So if you want to refer to this after the webinar or later on, you can always go on our blog and you will see our release notes, which are displayed here. Now, Koantic 2.0 is a very big release. We've added a lot of really nice features in there. I'll just go see in the chat before I continue. So someone is asking me to show the export option. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll come back to the release note after. So if I come back in my course, we've decided to make the export very, very user-friendly. So you might have a little less customization than in other platform, but what it does is that it makes the experience so pleasant, whereas it can really be a hassle otherwise. So let me show you what I mean by that. When you're done, you want to export your course, all you have to do is click on the Preview Publish tab. So clicking on this, first you can have a preview of your final product, which would be this right here. If you want to go back in edit mode, you simply click on that button. Like we saw before, you can preview it in a new window. So clicking on this will open it in a new window where you really see the final product without the other content from the platform. This is very nice, without publishing or exporting the project, if you click on share, this will provide a link of the course, which is right now on the Koantic platform. So for review purposes, let's say you're doing something for a client and before exporting, you just want their opinion, if the course is good, if you forgot something, you can really quickly fetch a URL like this, send it to them, and they will be able to see the project before being published. Now, when we are publishing, we have 4 options right now. So we have SCORM 2004, SCORM 1.2, XAPI that we are tracking as well, with some parameters that we can add here, or standalone if we don't need any data tracking. So I won't go in details about what SCORM and Experience API does, but basically if you need data from either of those 2 types, you have them available for you. Let's say I choose SCORM 2004, and I want to publish it. All you have to do is click on the Publish button. And you see that the course is being published right now. So now it takes a little time because it's exporting the course. But once it's done, all you have to do is you just click on this, and it will download it in your browser. And then you basically decide whether you want to host it on your LMS, or you can host it on a web server as well. Basically, anywhere, you just have to put the package in there, and you're good to go. As you can see here, the course has been published. So you can either erase it if you made some mistake, but if I click on this here, you should see that the course, there you go. The course is currently being downloaded. And this is actually a zip package. Because Koantic has interactions on top of the videos, we do need layers of HTML codes that will, like regulate all of that stuff. And so that's why it cannot be published as an MP4 or anything like that. So once it's published, you can see here, if I'm clicking on this, you can see this is the actual published package. You have your assets. This is where the videos would be, all of the images, right here, the fonts. And basically, you host all of this on your LMS or your web server. And what you want to do is you point to the index.html page. If the learner, let's say on your LMS, if they click on the link to open the course, they will open that page, and that page will simply open it in a browser like we are seeing right now. So this is a little bit about the export options. So this is it. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead. If not, I will go back. I hope this was clear enough. If not, I'll go back to it. But if not, I'll go back to my Koantic 2.0 release notes. Okay, so like I was saying, let's just see. Okay, so Rame is giving, Rame is giving a little bit more additional information. All right, so for the Koantic 2.0, what are we talking about? We're talking about a really big release. Biggest feature is the branching, which is now available like we saw earlier. So we saw all of the branching. You can do a lot of things in there. You can do multiple branching scenarios. Something very important also to keep in mind is that the branching that you saw here is not the branching for the whole course. This is like a capsule for your branching scenarios, but you can have multiple in the same course. So like we saw, this is the branching for the Game of Thrones, but at the same course, we also have the branching that we saw earlier with the world map and the different destinations. So basically, you can create multiple branching scenarios in your big course any way you want. Now, we also have interactive buttons that we've added, and this goes hand in hand with the branching scenario. So basically now, what Romain was talking earlier about creating custom navigations, this is really what we're talking about. You can set up your buttons anywhere you want. I'll give you a little example of that. If I go back at the beginning here, I could decide right here to add an interaction. And so we have the button right here. If I click on the button, just click on this right now, and you can just say, this is a button. And just with the action here, you can create an event type, and you can basically send to another branching page. You can show a tooltip. You can do a bunch of stuff with those buttons, but you can also use them as navigation to go anywhere you want. So this is a very, very nice feature. I'll just go ahead and delete that. All right, so moving on, we also have the opportunity now to add video to a animation slide or a video page. This is really nice as well. So again, real quickly, you could, if you want, let's go see here. You now have this new interaction here that is now available to you. Insert a video, and just clicking on it anywhere you want. I could, for now, I'll just, let's say I resize it like this. You have your frame. Now if I download on it, if I double click on it, you have your upload button right here, and then I could decide, okay, what do I want to add? Let's say I'm going to add the video from earlier while we were in Dubrovnik. Simply select it, and there you go. Now if I go back here, you see the frame appearing and the video playing on top of it. And again, this is really nice for interactions because the learner, they have the choice. If they want, they're like, no, I'm going to skip this information. They can pause it at any time and continue in the video. And this was made, again, in a simple click. All right, so next we have a fill-in-the-blank question. We saw that earlier a couple of times. So this is a new type of question that we have in our version 2.0. In case you don't remember, where was it? I don't remember where it was. Was it here? It's time to test your travel knowledge. Yes, I believe so. It was the second question. So this is a new question. Fill in the blanks. You can add here. So we saw earlier entering the answer. It has to be the good one. In the accepted responses, we can see as well that you can have a lot of answers as well. For example, this here was all of the accepted answers. Anything else will go back as negative. Anything in here will go as positive. So it's not just one answer. You can put multiple of them if you want. Okay. I'll just check on the chat real quick. All right. So okay, so Romain is taking care of business. That's good. So we'll continue. Next page, previous page, navigation button. So this goes again with the previous feature, the interactive buttons. So not only can you have interactive buttons that you can put anywhere that you want, but you can also, for the custom navigation, the one that we have right here, you can also tweak that one, make it appear, make it disappear. You can customize it any way you want as well. Okay, so next feature, we have also the copy-paste feature that we have now in Koantic. So this is a huge time saver now. I love this feature. If you go in a page, let's say I'll go back to my beginning here. let's say I have my welcome to Trip Epic, and I want to add that one as well at the end, for example, or in another page. Instead of just redoing from scratch, you can just click on your interaction, you click on copy, and you see here that it's been copied in your builder. Now, if I go in the next destination, for example, I could go here and just say, okay, paste my element, bam, it appears right there with all the same settings. If you've added behaviors in your interaction as well, so for example, if this was triggering a website that you want to open or a tooltip, copying would also retain those properties. So this is a big time saver. You could set up, for example, one of your buttons that you know that will go back a lot of places in your course. You set it up once, and then you copy paste it in your other places, and all of the behaviors will already be pre-made, and you can just change where it points to afterwards. So this is, again, a huge time saver. I love that feature that we have right now. And also, again, in the same vein, huge time saver as well is the multi-select. So you can select multiple, I'll go back in my Game of Thrones map here. So you can select very quickly multiple elements. So let's say that I want to, I'm not in a good page actually, I was in the preview, sorry about that. Okay, so let's say that I go here, and I'll go in my world map. Okay, this is where I want to be. So let's say I have those three elements here, and I want to, actually, I'll go all of those here. You can select, you see that my interaction is selected right here, but you can shift or control to select all of these elements at the same time. And you can see that all my elements are selected, and now if I want to move them, they all move at the same time. You can also edit and move them also in the timeline. So this is, again, a huge time saver. If you tweak some of the stuff and then someone comes in and they're like, well, I don't really like it, all of these should be like 1 second before, instead of having to go through all of them and just change them one by one. Okay, minus 1 second. You can simply click them really quickly, select all of them, and then change your time all at the same time at one place. So you can also, I was talking about the copy pasting before. For example, I selected all of these elements. If I click on copy, let's go, I'll go back at the beginning where this should not be there. If I click on copy and paste, bam, all of my elements have been copied. So very, very practical. You can select multiple elements, copy them, paste them anywhere you want. So stop in the chat. Okay, this is good. So moving on with the release notes, we have also a batch upload. Again, more on the practical side. Now when accessing the library, so for example, if I go here and I want to add an image, this is the library. If I go and upload image, you can now select multiple files to upload. So let's say I could be here, and I could, let's say you start a new project, you start with stuff that you have from your PowerPoint storyboard, and you want to keep all of those images and import them in your main project. You just go like this, click on open, and then all of your files will be uploaded in the library at the same time. No need to repeat this process multiple times. Now, it's very important to, if you do it also, this is just for images. I'll cancel that. But if you do it in the library tab here, you can batch upload, and you can batch upload anything at the same time. So you could batch upload 10 images, 2 videos, 4 PDF, all of this at the same time. Very, very practical. Course player settings. I'll go quickly on that one, but we also, previously the course players, it was a bit more embedded deep in the theme customization, but now we've put this in the settings at the beginning so that it's, sorry, I'll go back in the course. Before it was in themes, it was a bit more complicated. So now we have 2 more tabs here, appearance and logic, where you can quickly customize the appearance and the logic of your whole course in this place very quickly and very easily. And you can also, well, this is something that we should have had before, but it is now possible to delete items in the library. So if you go here, for example, you can now delete your images that you don't need anymore. Now, very important to note as well, in order to make sure that you don't delete stuff that was previously used, if you delete an image, for example, if I delete that one, it will tell me you cannot delete this item because it was used in your course. And if you click here, you can see where the image has been used. For example, in my case, it's been used here. So this is very useful because you will not delete images that has been used in previous courses. If you really want to clean them, then you would have to go delete where they were used. And so this way you always have a clear view of what your assets are being used for, and the ones that are not being used for, you can easily delete them to make some space. All right, we have a question here. In the menu on the left pane, is it possible to look for keywords in the whole menu? I asked that question because I think this is a very nice dynamic fact, could be built with Koantic. I completely agree with Romain. This is a very good question. This is something that could be very useful. Mainly in the browsing on the web, what makes it really fast is that when you make search queries with Google, it will search you the information on that whole page so that you can very quickly see the information that you need. This currently is not available in the Koantic platform, but like Romain is mentioning, we will be adding tagging and searching in our summer release. It is a very, very nice feature. Okay, so we have less than 10 minutes left. So we went through the release. What I will do actually now is that if you want, guys, we will, Romain will unmute everyone and we can have a little chat, a little Q&A about Koantic and our latest release. So whenever you want, Romain. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so everybody is unmuted. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. If you have any questions, now it's kind of more of an open chat, so go ahead. I'm not sure. You guys will have to have your microphones or your computer microphone plugged in if you want to chat. If people don't have a microphone, though, unfortunately, you will not be able to chat. You can type your questions if you want in the chat. Don't worry about it. But yeah. So again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them here. If not, if you've seen anything that you've wanted to see, well, we still have a little 5 minutes left, but we're pretty much close to wrapping this up anyway. So yeah, I'll leave it just a minute or two, I guess, and if not, we will wrap it up. So Geneviève is asking, when is the release live? The release is planned for tomorrow. So all of these very nice features will be available to you starting tomorrow. The pricing, very good question. So I'll go back on the web page. So on Koantic, if you go at www.koantic.com, all of our pricing information is on our pricing page. You can have a look at it here. So we have 3 types of plan now. We start with the video only plan at $9. However, this is really just if you want, you can only create video capsule with this. So this is good for more like a consumer consumer approach, but you really want to look at the starter plan. Starter plan is $39 per month or $3.90 per year. This is for 1 license, and you have access to everything in the Koantic platform except for the team collaboration, which is a very nice feature. If you want access to the team collaboration feature, we have the professional plan here, which starts at $200 per month or $2,000 per year. This will give you access to 4 licenses, more storage as well, And you also have access to the team collaboration feature, which is very, very neat. Now we also have obviously custom pricing depending on the amount of licenses that you want to have. This you would have to talk about, Romain, for a custom plan in that regard. We also have a 21-day free trial as well, where you can try everything completely for free for 21 days. And this trial also is unlimited. It's just that after 21 days, you will not be able to export courses. You'll still be able to create your course, but if you want to export and publish, then you would have to buy a license. So this is for the pricing. Okay. So if anybody else has any other questions?
Hi, Jonathan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. Got the audio sorted in the end.
All right. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello. Thank you so much for this really informative webinar.
My pleasure.
I have actually been trialing it for the last couple of days.
Okay.
I'm on a trial license at the moment. One of the big things that we're facing with the company I work for as a learning designer is that we're trying to get away from Word templates, scripting, and try and use a rapid authoring tool. So Koantic possibly is a really good option. The one thing that we do like to see is something that I was wondering whether Koantic can do, is actually when you track changes and you can see somebody's made a change to a screen, is there any way of finding out what that change was that was made, or is it purely just going to show you somebody accessed that screen and made a change on that date?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So actually, for now, any type of versioning, so kind of what you're talking about, we don't have that right now because this is actually a rather huge feature, but it's actually our next feature that we're working on. This is going to be coming in a future release where we're going to do complete versioning, and you will be able to track the changes that has been done prior. You'll be able also to roll back in case an error has been made, so you have earlier versions. Now, for now, what you can still do with the collaboration feature is that you could somehow do something like this. For example, if I click on collaboration here, I can add comments, and I could say I modified page 2 yesterday. And you could kind of have your versioning that way. For example, you can track, okay, this person had made that change, but they would have to enter it manually. What you can do, however, is you could also add task in here. So, for example, you could say at Derek Chang, please add info about why. And you can say track this as a comment. And if I click on this here, when Derek will come in his task feed, if he clicks on my task, I'll go all task, but because I'm not Derek, but he would see, okay, this request, please add info about why. So you can dispatch information. You can track, okay, you could see in your activity, okay, I can see here that Derek has added this because this will be logged automatically, all that if he adds a comment or anything like that.
That's actually quite good workaround in the meantime, isn't it? That seems really good. In terms of collaborators, do they have to have license, or can you allow anybody to be a collaborator, like a client, for example?
So this is the latter possibility, which is the one I think the clients will want the most. So we are giving the possibility to everybody to create. I'll show you right now, actually, my thing here. So this is everybody that's in this course currently. Now, if you want to add a user, well, if you add a content creator, for example, here you enter the email, the information. If you want to add a content creator, it will use a license. And you can see that for me, for example, here I have 11 content creator seats left. However, if you create a reviewer account, this you can create as many as you want, and the people will not be able to modify the course. However, they will be able to collaborate. So let's say you create a reviewer account for one of your clients. They could come in the course with their reviewer account. They could collaborate. They could say, oh, I really like this one, but you forgot to talk about that thing. And this you can have as many as you want, completely for free.
Brilliant. That's answered my question. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Cheers.
yes. My pleasure. All right, I'll go see in the chat if somebody else has some questions. Um, where can all reviewers are free? Yeah. All right, so that's it. So well, your tool. Oh, that's great. I like this. Your tool might be the one I've been waiting for years. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed the update. So we've just did our hour of Koantic. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. You can go on the website to have more information, but also don't hesitate to contact me. My name is Jonathan Ortega, or contact Romain if you want further information. We'll be happy to assist you. Looking forward to release the version 2.0 pretty soon. I'm sure you will all be very excited. All right, thank you very much, everyone. And I'm going to stop my share right now.